Right. Today we move to the another session of cellular and mobile communication, unit 2, that is cell coverage for signal and traffic. Right. Here in this unit 2, the second topic we discussed today class, that is mobile point-to-point model. The mobile point-to-point model. Here, this point-to-point model described by scientist Lee, that's why it is called, the other one is called the Lee model. Lee model. Here, why we are going for this topic? What is the use for this topic? Here, based upon this topic, we have to find where exactly the signal strength is low and where exactly the signal strength is high, and what is the height of the antennas. Discuss. Right. Suppose we have to install. Suppose you in your village, some company, cell phone service provider company, install on base station. They are not directly come to your village directly, not install directly in some place. First, they have to consider which place first to select the point where exactly you have to fix the base station. And this consideration. Suppose they are go for data providers, they are come into your village and they are testing at different places. They are fixed antennas at different places for testing purpose. Fix the antenna and check the signal strength for different locations in your village. And they are calculate in which location the signal strength is high and which location its signal strength is low, like this. Based upon this, they have to increase the antenna height or decrease the antenna height. That is cell phone tower height. Either increase or decrease depends upon your some measured data in your village or location. That is the purpose for mobile point-to-point model. That is different points that calculate the signal strength at the time of installation of a base station. In this mobile point-to-point model, having 3 steps. The first step is generate a standard condition. The second one is obtain an area to area prediction model. Next, third one is obtain a mobile point to point model using the area to area model as a right. That is, the first step is generate a standard condition. Second one is obtain an area to area prediction model. Third one is obtain a mobile point-to-point model using the area-to-area model as a base. Right. All 3 steps are linked together. The second step is linked with first step. The third step is linked with second step. Right. Now, how to discuss in detail step one by one. First, I have to go for the first step is generate a standard condition. Right. The first one is generate a standard condition. Here, what is meant by standard condition? What is meant by standard condition? Here, in this standard condition, we have to check initially before fixing the cell phone tower. Suppose we have to transmit power something. It covers how much distance? It covers how much distance? Suppose we have to some 50 watts. 50 watts power can be transmitted through that antenna. It supports max 5 kilometers. But we have to cover 10 kilometers. Nothing, but we have to increase that power. How much power is increased? Next, suppose the cell set antenna height is 100 meters. We have to assume 100 meters. For this 100 meters, it can be covers 5 kilometers. Suppose we want to cover more than 5 kilometers. Other than we have to increase the height of the base station. Likewise, you have to generate a standard condition is there. In this standard condition, see this figure in tabular column. Right. First one, standard condition and correction factors. Here in this standard condition, first you have to go for taking from base station side. Base station. Suppose the transmitted power is 10 watts. The transmitted power is 10 watts. Nothing but we have to convert into dBm, which we are getting 40 dBm. We are getting in terms of dBms. What is the correction factor? Alpha 1, which is equal to 10 log PT dash by 10. PT dash by 10. Suppose we have to assume that for this transmitted power 10 watts, its maximum covers only 10 kilometers. Suppose we have to assume. We want more coverage. We have to increase the power. Suppose we have to increase the power by 15 watts. At that time, the PT dash value, which is equal to 15 watts. And how much power is increased? How much difference? That is, this is the initial. How much correction? Either increase or decrease, whatever it may be, depends upon conditions. We have to increase the power or decrease the power, depends upon the geographical area. Second one is and height h1 equal to 100 feet. We have to convert into meters is 30 meters automatically. That is 1 feet which equal to go around 3.3 something meters. 1 meter equal to 3.3 something feet. Similarly, alpha 2 is the 20 log h1 dash by h1. h1 in denominator you already know 100 feet. What do we know h1 dash? What is the correction? Either increase or decrease the heights. We will discuss how is h1 dash, what is my h1 later classes, that is effective antenna height gain. Next one is antenna gain. The initially they are given GT which is equal to 6 dB per dipole. That is 6 dB per dipole. Here what is the correction factor? It's alpha 3 which is equal to GT dash minus 6. These are GT. Here hyphen dash is nothing but what is the correction? How much correction? Next, at the time for the case of mobile unit, the antenna is H2 which is equal to 10 feet. In terms of 3, the alpha for correction factor is equal to 10 log H2 dash by H2. H dash by H2. Suppose in your location, in your home, in ground floor, we are getting very less signal strength. You have to move to your upstairs in balcony, in first floor, second floor, we are getting a high signal strength. That is, we have to increase our height, not exactly in physical, we have to move the height of this antenna. That is the correction factor. That is, and the next one is antenna gain, GM, which is equal to 0 dB per dipole. Alpha phi equal to GM dash. It's nothing but a standard condition, which is nothing but a correction factors. What are the correction factors? It depends upon power, it depends on height, it depends on gains. Based upon 3 parameters, either increase or decrease. Depends upon the geographical area. Suppose you have to go for, you have to install one base station in your village hill. Suppose hill is very nearer to your village. At the top of the hill, suppose you have to fix one base station. Nothing but we have to use very less power. Why? Because the cell phone tower is very high, top of the hill. At that time, we have to reduce the powers, no problem. It covers maximum distance, right? This is the some standard conditions is there. Based upon the standard condition, go for correction, either increasing or decreasing, right? Right. Here the second one is obtain the area to area prediction model. Here in this second one, area to area prediction model, it is done by human made structures. So we are taking example for this second step that explained by the human made structures. Here what is meant by human made structures? As study we discuss about, right? How we made basically 3 types. That is open area, suburban area, and urban area. 3 types. Right. Now we have to calculate a path loss for the human made structures. Right. See this figure. How to calculate the signal strength. Suppose in this figure, in this center thick circle is there. Here this is nothing but suppose there is a cell phone tower. Here, supposing the type of antenna which we are using here is omnidirectional antenna. What is meant by omnidirectional antenna system? Here in omnidirectional antenna system is nothing but which radiates power equal in all directions. Right. Nothing but Suppose the maximum coverage simulation is 10 miles. 10 miles. It covers maximum 10 miles. For this point, we have to divide this 10 miles into 3 sectors. That is, from the center of the base station, we have to give the circle is 1 mile first. Next, second path is 5 miles. Next, go for 10th mile. We have to give some circles for first mile, 5th mile, and 10th mile. Now, once we draw these circles, right, we have to measure the signal strength at different points. See this point? From this point, we have to use one mobile. With the signal strength, we are getting low. From this point, high, here low. Likewise, we have to calculate at different points, locations, we have to find the signal strengths. See this here. Here from up to 10th mile, here we are getting high signal strength. Here, see this one. For first mile, from this location, we are getting low. Why? Here we are getting a multi-storage building is there. Suppose in this multi-storage building, we are sitting in deep, where there is no ventilation room. At that time, there is no signal coming. That's why in this location, we are getting low. And another one is, we have to assume that suburban area. In suburban area, nothing but max the outskirts of the city. In the outskirts of the area, we are getting high signal strength. Why? Here number of buildings and clumsy building. There is no clumsy buildings. That's why some location we are getting high signal strength. Likewise, we have to measure the signal strength in a area to area prediction model. Here in area to area prediction, nothing but first we have to take the base station. We have to take the circles with respect to 1 mile, 5 mile, and 10th mile. At different locations, we have to calculate the signal strength. Once we have to know the signal strength, we have to draw the path loss curve from this figure. Here, we have to draw the path loss curve for this area to area prediction model. We have to take x-axis and y-axis. Wait a minute. Right. Here, see this figure. We have to draw a path loss curve. Here, we have to take x-axis in terms of distance and y-axis in terms of signal strength in terms of dB. For first mile, in previous figure, here see this for first mile, high, low, something. In fifth mile, something high. We're getting also high, low. Based upon this, we have to draw. Look, we have to find out the signal strength at different points, like up to 10. Here in this one, we have to for this first mile, here high, low. But take average. Give one center point. Similarly, for fifth mile, high, low, we are getting. We have to take the average. We are getting here like this. We have to calculate here based upon this average. We have to draw the path loss curve. Path loss. Here strength is decreased. Finally, after 10th mile, it is decreases. It is nothing but when the distance is increased due to some restriction, it maximum each cell phone tower covers 10 miles. Nothing but 15, average 15 kilometers. After this one, very signal strength is very, very low. It can be decreases. This is a method to calculate area to area prediction model. See from this, already explained this one. The differences in area to area prediction curves are due to the different man-made structures. In some places in the same location, either high or low within the one man-made structures, or it depends upon open area or urban area, suburban area. Here in area to area prediction model can be described with a two parameters. The first one is 1 mile intercept point, the path slope. Already discussed previous figures. How to draw the circles. Once I draw the circles, you have to calculate the signal strength. Based on the signal strength, you have to draw the path slope. Here, the 1 mile intercept point is the power received at a distance of 1 mile from the transmitter, right? The distance between base station and mobile station is vertical 1 mile. See this figure. Propagation paths in different cities. They are given here in free space. In free space, maximum the signal strength is somewhat high. This is for open area. This is for the New York City, Philadelphia City, New York, Tokyo in Japan. Different cities they are calculated. The finally we are getting path slope curve, same as previous one, likely. Right. Suppose if the human structures of a city are different, is it same in all cities? No. Different cities have different structures is there. Within the city also, in one road, some buildings have different heights, and some nearer to building heights are different. The multi-story building, different. At that time, we have to set up a transmitting at the center of the general area. First, we have to take the total city and measure that is the center first. And take a 6 or 7 measured data points around the 1 mile point intercept and around 10 miles boundary based. Nothing but same. Again, we have to get in previous we have to take only 1 mile intercept point. Now we have 10 mile intercept point. Right. Here, see right. Here, see this one. Suppose a hill is there in your city. Hill is there in city. Here at that time, if the hill is coming between base station and mobile station, base station is some location, mobile station some location, but in between these two, one hill is there. Is there a signal? Signal is not coming after this hill station. At that time, how to overcome this one? Just to have to increase the base station height. The base station height is much higher than the hill height. At that time, we have to calculate the effective ATNA height gains. Effective ATNA height gains, that is delta G, which is equal to 20 log HE by H1. Here H1 is the base station height. Suppose the H1 is 100 meters. H1 is the 100 meters. But due to this 100 meters, we are not getting proper signal after hill. At that time, we have to increase by 300 meters. How much increase? That is by HE. 100 meters minus 100 meters, 200 meters. That is by HE value. HE which is equal to 300 meters minus original meaning 100 meters. We are getting 200 meters. Based upon this, we have to calculate delta G. That is effective ATNA height gain. We'll discuss clearly in coming classes how to calculate this delta G value. See this one, path loss phenomena. See this one. This is your city. They are fixed one base station here. See this. This is the building heights, different heights, not equal heights. See this one, signal strength. This is path loss. Here the path loss is suddenly decreases. not from this at the point of C, gradually decreases, sudden gradual. Here based upon this, I have to draw distance is the x-axis, signal strength in the y-axis at different locations. The signal strength is finally decreases. At different points, we have to explain different points, nothing. Right. Now here based upon this, we have to calculate the phase difference between direct path and ground reflected. All we discussed about yesterday class, that is what is meant by flat terrain. Now we have to assume that flat terrain. Flat terrain. Here in this flat terrain, the H1 is the height of the base station and H2 is the height of the mobile station. I have to consider two paths. One is direct path. Second wave is deflected ground deflected path. Here phi is the angle, theta is the incident angle, and small d is the distance between base station to mobile station. Here we have to consider, see this one from this elevation angle, we have to draw a dotted line. Here how much height now? H1 minus H automatically. Here from this point is H1 plus H2 based upon reflection point. Based upon this figure, we have to go for how much phase difference between direct wave and ground reflected wave. What is the difference between theta and phi? We have to now we have to go for calculate. And small derivation is there, right? You know, based on direct path and ground deflected path, the direct path is nothing but very line of sight path is there. Very line of sight path from base station to mobile station. At that time, in general, the path loss which is equal to P naught multiplied by 1 by 4 pi d by lambda. I think already you know this equation in antenna wave propagation. Here P naught is nothing but how much power is transmitted from base station. That is at the time of transmission of base station, we are getting P naught. This can be transmitted along with the distance from D with a wavelength of lambda. Right, based upon this, the general formula of loss is P loss is equal to P naught into 4 pi d by lambda whole square. Right. Now, how much power is received? How much power is received? For this, we have to summing the two paths. So, what are the two paths? We have to assume the two paths are, one is direct wave path, second one is ground reflected path. That's why PR, which is equal to, that is original loss, P naught into 1 by 4 pi d by lambda whole square multiply the summation modulus of 1 plus AV into e power j delta phi whole square. Here what is my AV? Reflect. What is my reflection coefficient? How much signal is reflected? How much is reflected towards mobile unit? And phi, sorry, delta phi is equal to the difference between direct the ground reflected phi. Not here, not the phi. Delta is the differences between theta and phi. Next, P naught is the transmitted power. D is the distance. Lambda is the wavelength. Right. This one just have to you know, e power j delta phi. E power delta phi, nothing but see this plus it. What is meant? Just we have to go for we have to assume that AV, we have to assume that -1 in general, because we get a small incident angle of ground wave caused by relatively low cell set and the height. At that we have to assume that AV which is equal to 1. Then we have to substitute AV equal to 1. And you know, e power j delta phi, nothing but cos delta phi plus j delta phi. That is, we are getting likewise the equation PR is equal to P naught into 1 by 4 pi d by lambda whole square modulus of 1 minus cos delta phi minus j sin delta phi whole square. Then substitute the finally we are getting j square sine delta phi square. The finally we are getting p naught 4 pi d by lambda square delta phi by 2 delta phi by 2. In general, delta phi is nothing but the phase difference between base station and direct path and ground difference, which is equal to beta delta d, right? Delta d is nothing but the path difference. Suppose, see this one, the direct path is 10 meters, we have to assume. Reflected path is more than 10 meters. Why? Here see come in this figure, it is comes like this and ground reflected path. See this line is difference. Right. That's why we are getting delta phi equal to beta into delta d. What is meant delta d equal to d1 minus d2. d1 minus d2. What is meant d1? The path length of direct wave. d2 is nothing but the path length of reflected wave. This is the d1, path length of direct wave d1. d2 is but the path length of reflected wave. Delta d equal to d2 minus d1. Right. From this figure, we have to draw the triangle. The automatically we are getting d1, which is equal to root of h1 h2 square whole square plus d square. Root of h1 minus h2 whole square divided plus d square. Then substitute in this above equation. The finally the delta phi, which is equal to beta into delta d, which is equal to finally approximately 2 pi by lambda. Already know beta value is equal to general equation 2 pi by lambda multiplied with 2h1 h2 divided by d. Then substitute this one. We are getting finally p r, which is equal to p naught into lambda by 4 pi square d square sine square 4 pi h1 h2 by lambda d. Suppose phi is less than 0.6 radians. At that time, we have to simplify sine phi by 2 is equal to phi by 2, cos phi by 2 equal to 1. But we are getting 5 above equation in terms of sine. That's why PR is equal to P naught into 4 pi 16 pi square d by lambda 2 pi h1 h2 by lambda d whole square. Then after simplification, finally the received power, which is equal to P naught into h2 divided by this is the final received power. See this one, the final received power depends on transmitted power, height of the base station and mobile station, and the distance between base station and mobile station. From this above equation, we are getting finally delta P value, which is depends on 40 log d1 by d2, and delta G value equal to 20 log h1 dash by h1, h1 dash by h1. How much power difference? And delta G dash, that is and the height case, which is equal to 10 log h2 dash by h2 mobile station. Here, this is for heights. This is for mobile lane. Right. You see this one. Now we have to go for constant standard deviation. Constant standard deviation. Here now we already discussed how to calculate path loss curve. Here to calculate path loss curve, we have to fix one base station for 1 mile intercept point, 5 mile, 10th mile. For different points, we have to calculate the signal strength and draw the path loss. Path loss curve. In any, suppose I have to consider any human structure, either open area, either urban area, either right. Here we are getting maximum constant standard deviation with respect to difference 8 dB. Suppose here see this is one gamma 1. We have to assume that this is a path loss for open area. Gamma 2 is path loss for urban area. Gamma 3 is nothing but path loss for urban area. Open, suburban, urban. The maximum difference between these three is 8 dB in constant. Maximum the differences between all these path loss is 8 dB difference is there in constant. Right. The straight line path loss slope. The straight line path loss slope. I will discuss about the equation that is PR, which is equal to P naught minus gamma log R by R naught. R by R naught. Right. The gamma is nothing but the slope, path loss curve slope. Here R and R naught is nothing but the different distances. Suppose you have to go for how to calculate received signal due to attenuation. Suppose I am transmitting a signal with a amplitude peak to peak is 10 volts peak to peak transmit, but we are receiving 8 volt peak to peak. The remaining 2 volts peak to peak is lost, nothing but attenuation. Similarly, at the PT they are given, PR they are given, alpha is nothing but attenuation. What is the received power we are getting? PT minus attenuation PR. The same log is the PR, which is equal to transmitted power P naught minus the loss. The loss is depends on gamma into log of R by R naught. R is nothing but now the distances. And based upon all these conditions, all these conditions, we have to go for the general formula of mobile radio propagation. Here for this general area model propagation, we have to take suburban area. The standard loss is minus 61.7 dB. This is a constant value. Now what is the received power, which is equal to PT minus 40 minus this is standard value minus 61.7 minus 38.4 log R1 by 1 mile. R1 is you have to increase or decrease the distance, plus 20 log H1 by 100 feet, plus 10 log H2 by 10 feet, plus GT minus 6 plus GM. How this formula we are get? I am explaining directly, but how this equation comes? What is the background of this equation? What is the background of this equation? In general, 40 dB is lost in general. Instead of any structures. That's why general PT minus 40 dB minus sub, we have to assume that suburban area like that minus 61.7 is the constant for suburban area minus. What is next coming? These equations. These equations are coming from standard condition correction factors. Here, see this one. See these formulas. See this formula. Here, these formulas coming from correction factors. I will explain again. I will show. See these correction factors. See these correction factors. Transmitted power PT 40 dBm. In this equation 40 dB is there, right? And how much correction factor is there? And H1 100 feet. Correction factor in that equation 20 log H1 by H1 dash by H1. H1 they are substituting 100 feet. GT all correction factor is GT dash minus 6. From this standard condition only the generate the general formula for mobile radio propagation. Similarly, we can simplify the above equation. Simplify, that is PT minus 40 dB minus something, here GT minus 6, like that. From this we can simply have the equation. Simplify. Finally, we are getting the PR is equal to PT minus 156 minus 40 log R1 plus 20 log H1 plus 10 log H2 plus GT plus GM. This is the final equation for generalized. Right. Thank you for today's class. That is for point-to-point model or Lee model. Is there any query? Type your query in chat box. Is there any doubts? If no doubts, please raise the hand. I will move to explain some, I think Divya, something, I don't know the exact name. Divya, she asked some assignment questions yesterday. Some doubts is there.